The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, to my left, we got a man that really needs no introduction for you. Is known the world over. It's the one, it's the only, it's Pops.
Yeah, welcome to True School Sports. We have a lot of news today, big news today, and we're going to let BT run with it.
Yeah, so first and foremost, before we continue any further in the live, because we do have a lot to talk about, a lot we want to get off our chest. Want to first start by saying, this year already, we've lost a couple people in the boxing media this year. Earlier, we lost Xavier Porter of Shoot the Five and Brooklyn Fights, a personal friend of the channel. And then another guy we just lost today. You guys probably know these guys. These guys weren't like the biggest channels, the biggest people in boxing media. But I wanted to say rest in peace to my guy, Fight Mike Fight, FMF Boxing. He was like the expert of women's boxing. He did a lot for the women's fighters, and he passed away from cancer today. So may God rest his soul. And yeah, like I'm getting all these reminders this year that life is short and we got to value the time we have here on this earth. So yeah, rest in peace to everybody. That's been passing away in the boxing world this year.
Praise to the family.
Absolutely. So it is what it is. We keep going forward because that's all you can do in life. But yeah, man, definitely rest in peace to him. But before I get into live as well, I wanted to also just remind you guys, programming reminder, as always, Saturday we'll be live for Daniel Jacobs versus John Ryder. So don't make any plans. Make sure you guys are here for Daniel Jacobs versus John Ryder. We'll be here for the entire card, so make sure you guys do that, and also check out all the content on the channel. But let's focus in, and I see you guys in the comments. Shout out to my guy Jesus. Sammy says saludos, Jesus.
Saludos.
Carl Hansen, the untouchable. Shout out to you, Carl. Shout out to my main man in Australia. And shout out to all 6 of you here. Make sure you smash that like button and drop a comment. But the big news, Pops, the big news. Let's focus on the big news today, because we did get some big news today. In the world of boxing, it's not like it wasn't surprising news because we were just waiting on the official announcement. But we've got the official announcement. We've got the date. We got the venue. We got the time. We got everything sorted. We got all the facts. We can talk about it now. So save the date, April the 16th. Errol Spence Jr. will be looking to unify 3 of the titles in the welterweight division as he takes on Yordenis Ugas. Now, Pops, obviously the fight people want to see is the Crawford fight, but we're going to focus on this fight for a little bit. Let's camp out here. Let's camp out with the Ugas situation. Okay. Pops, what do you think about Ugas versus Spence? Give me your take on the matchup.
I think when they do fight, I think Ugas is going to come with a lot of confidence after defeating the great Manny Pacquiao. That's just enough to boost his head and his confidence in the ring. And I think that's going to play a lot into the fight with Spence. I also think Ugas is a bigger, stronger fighter, and I think he's going to cause problems for Spence. Spence is not going to get an easy ride from this guy right here. As far as Spence, I was pissed off at him back when he faked that stupid eye injury.
You still think he faked it?
Yeah. I still say he faked all that bullshit. And I think that now that he's fighting, got a chance to unify with Ugas, it's great news, but it's just been long and waiting for.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. Yordenis Ugas, as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the realest welterweights in the world today. This is a guy that was 14-3 at one point in his career, looking at being a bust in the pros. And he had to really work his way back to get to this point in his career. So he gets all the respect for getting to this point in his career, and may God bless him. But as far as the matchup, I think one thing people don't understand when it comes to Ugas is how big and strong he is. You don't really understand how big Ugas is until you get in front of him. And obviously, Errol Spence Jr. is the better inside fighter. He's the better body puncher of the two, and things like that. But I think Ugas is gonna surprise people with his ability to hold his ground on the inside with Spence. He obviously comes from that Cuban background, that amateur pedigree. He was a bronze medalist in the 2008 Olympics. And he's outboxed a lot of good fighters, so it will make for a good fight. But I gotta keep it real, Pops. Mm-hmm. I don't see, and I don't foresee any scenario where Ugas can get a decision in Texas. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
We know the history when it comes to the Texas judging. And listen, I would like to be optimistic. I would like to think that Ugas will get a fair and just decision, but I cannot live in Candyland. I got to be real.
And what I will say about that, BT, you've been going to Texas fights long enough to know the deal.
Absolutely. And you look at PBC, right? The grand structure of PBC right now, right?
Right.
Deontay Wilder, we don't know what his future is going to be. He may continue to box. He may retire. We don't know. We haven't heard anything yet. Yeah. So right now, for the time being, let's just say he retires, right? Or he leaves the sport. Right now, of the main guys that are the moneymakers for PBC, Spence is one of them, and Tank is the other one. So do you guys really think PBC, if Ugas goes in there, let's say Ugas outboxes Spence like 8 rounds to 4 or something like that, or maybe he wins a clear but close, or a 7-5, 115, 113 decision. Do you really think the judges are gonna let Ugas win, leave it to chance to let Ugas ruin the plot? No, absolutely not.
I will. One thing that I think that a lot of people take for granted that I really opened my eyes about Ugas is like you said, his Cuban style, his defense. It's hard to get inside, hard to hit him. Yeah, you see the legend Manny Pacquiao have problems, and we know that Manny Pacquiao is not Spence. Spence is not Manny Pacquiao. But I mean, on the other side of the token, there's been a lot of questions to be asked about Spence, what he looks like, how he's going to be coming into this fight, and if he's got some ring rust. So supposedly from whatever injury he's got, but I don't believe any of it. I think it's a bunch of horseradish. You know what?
Yeah.
So that's the question for him. But I think Ugas I think you said it the right way. You can have. I always say you can serve somebody a meal in a gold platter, and somehow they'll find something wrong with it.
That's what I'm saying. So hopefully it's a good fight.
Yeah.
I'm looking at. I might go to this fight. Only because I want to ask the people in Texas, the Spence fans, if Spence does win, will he stop ducking Terence Crawford? Because that's really where I'm at. Like this is a good fight, but that's all it is. This is a good fight.
Do you think
it's a good fight? It's a good welterweight versus a very good welterweight.
Do you think Ugas with his power has enough to knock out? No.
Errol's too durable.
Errol's too durable for a knockout.
Earl,
as muscular as he is.
No. He got like 10 knockouts.
I know.
He's not punching like that.
No, he's not.
He not.
He's got that Cuban style, just points and he gets in there, but you don't see all that big muscle coming there.
Hell no. Okay. He's not doing that. Okay. But I want listen, mind you, I want Ugas to win this fight. Like I would love to see Ugas fuck up the plans of PBC and the narrative and make Errol Spence have a big pie in his face, but I'm not. I don't hate Errol Spence or any fighter to the point where I'm out of touch with reality.
So you're realist. You can call it the way it is.
Yeah. Shout out to Jesus. He says, "Are you surprised there was good attendance for third bout?" I mean, it looked like it was good attendance on TV, but from what I saw, I saw some tarps over them seats. So I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Chad says, "Yo, BT, I'm going to that fight. I've never been to an Errol Spence fight. Let's meet there." Yeah, if I'm there, we could definitely meet up. I'm right now. I'm planning on going because I was already planning on going to Ryan Garcia Manuel Tego fight, which is in San Antonio the week before that. So I'll be in Texas anyway. So I might as well just go down the I-35 or I-10, whatever highway you guys got there, and go down to Dallas and go to Arlington and go see what's up.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah. Do you think they will sell out that stadium? What they're gonna do is they're gonna scale what the capacity is. So like everyone knows that the Cowboy Stadium capacity is 100,000 something seats. I mean, anybody who's been there, oh my God, the place is like a spaceship. It's like one big ass spaceship.
Huge.
I went to the Canelo Saunders fight then, and I bought a cheap ticket. And man, I felt like I was in outer space. I was so high up.
Yeah. So you're saying basically, that fight's gonna be at the Cowboy Stadium?
It's gonna be at Cowboy Stadium. So what I'm saying is,
I don't think it's. I'll be honest. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, Spence is the big.
They're gonna scale it down to like 15,000 seats
down,
and they're gonna sell 50. They're gonna sell 50,000 tickets, and then say he sold out Cowboy Stadium.
Oh hell!
and then when they scale down to 15,000, if they negotiate about Cowboy, they're gonna say, oh well, he sold out Cowboy Stadium
because Spence is a big name in Texas, but I don't think him alone can sell out that whole stadium. You're right.
No, he ain't that.
It won't be a record-setting night. Put it that way.
Yeah. Carl says, "Me too. Fuck the PBC and their same side of the street BS." Yeah, it's ridiculous. Which fight are you more interested in, Charlo Castaño 2 or Spence Ugas? I'm a lot more interested in Castaño versus Charlo. First of all, it's a much better fight. You're gonna get better exchanges. There's more on the line. I mean, these guys are fighting a unification fight. These guys are fighting for undisputed. The first fight was a classic.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's just a better fight all the way around the board. So I would say Chalo Castaño. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of pair it with my boy Johnny Boy. Johnny Boy said on his channel earlier today. He said that Ugas is not getting a decision. And he don't punch hard enough. So like if I'll tell you this, if Errol Spence loses this fight, he's a hype job. All he got to do is box a competitive fight and go to the distance. He's getting a decision. Yeah. He's getting a decision, and then you know, Ugas will get a lot of money. He'll get compensated very well.
For Ugas, what do you think he's got to do to beat Errol Spence?
Ugas,
I mean, he's got great defense. I tell you, like Manny Pacquiao had problems with that.
Ugas has to work that body, and he has to continuously land the straight right hand and try to knock this motherfucker out.
It's the only way.
Because if you don't knock him out, I mean, the rules. Okay, let's just pretend that Errol Spence is Canelo.
Yeah.
The rules that apply to Canelo in Texas apply them to this fight.
Yeah.
Apply those rules. You know.
Wow.
Apply those rules because you know, listen, he's a big star, and that's what it is. And you know, I see a lot of people out there flapping their gums with all these narratives in the sport of boxing, saying, "Oh, well, Errol Spence Jr. is doing all the heavy lifting in the welterweight division. You know, he's getting all the titles. He's fighting all these guys. He's doing all these things." And you know what's crazy? Even if you want to say that, because look, even if you want to say Errol Spence is doing all the heavy lifting, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's still ducking this guy, whether you like it or not.
Pussy ass, bring your ass out. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you, Errol. Where you at?
Hey, either way you cut it up, slice it, and dice it.
Yeah.
Errol Spence is still ducking Terence Crawford. Now, like, look, there's only so long I can talk about Ugas versus Spence till I start talking about Terence Crawford, because I mean, at the end of the day, that's the marquee fight. Yeah. That's the fight I want to see. That's the fight you want to see. Yeah. That's the fight the whole boxing world wants to see. And the fact that it's what we're talking about, we're in 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, credit to Errol Ugas. Like, I give them credit. You know, yesterday me and Pops were going off on the entire lightweight division. They're, in my opinion, these guys are better than the entire lightweight division, because you know all they do at 135 is tweet, they run their mouth and talk about purse splits and talk about this and talk about that. So at least at 147, there's at least a little bit of movement, even if it's not the fights we want to get.
And the fights are finalized.
And the fights are actually finalized, and we can actually make our plans to go to these fights and talk about them. But at the same time, like, bro, you've been ducking Terence Crawford for 4 years. And the way I see it, Pops, there's no end in sight. There's absolutely no end in sight.
I think what's going to happen is, and I think I heard the narrative the other night on a live or whatever, but this is what my feelings telling me. Spence will win that fight. He will go quacking like a duck and not fight Crawford, and then he will have a rematch with Thurman. Did he have a rematch? They never fought. Okay, Thurman. He will fight Thurman
on the pay-per-view.
On pay-per-view.
Yeah,
that's how PBC is going to see it. That's the way I see it, because I'm just give my opinion from Spence's actions towards Crawford from his last fight, and before then, he just takes off. He don't want to talk to nobody. He got things to do. He's very busy. But yeah, he's not busy when they tell him he's a champion and he's running up a middleweight weight until he gets questioned about Crawford.
Side note. And I want to throw this out there, because while everybody's going on about Spence fighting Thurman and Crawford, I'm going to give you guys another point you may want to consider. So make sure you guys, if you're watching the live, you may want to screen record this, because this could be a future good clip. Okay, so on the undercard of this fight, you're gonna have what's his name? You're gonna have Butiev taking on Emmanuel Styonis on the undercard. And whoever wins that fight, do not be surprised if that winds up being Errol Spence's next fight. And then if he can be one of those two, don't be surprised if he fights Thurman after that. The PBC is already moving the chess pieces to create 2 new opponents for Errol Spence Jr. So I'm just saying, don't ever rule that out. Carl Anthony says, what the fuck was that? That was Terence Crawford in his car driving and doing donuts. And the audio in the background was from when Terence Crawford was on vacation, and he was in the water, and he was like, "Oh, they call you the big fish, but I don't see you in here. I'm looking for you, Earl.
Where you at?"
You know?
Yeah.
I'll play it for you again, Carl, so you can see it again.
Pussy ass, bring your ass out. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you, Errol. Where you at?
Yeah, so that's what that was, Carl. But shout out to all 12 of you here. Make sure you smash that like button, drop your comments down below.
So if hypothetically that's what you're saying, where is if that actually happens, where they Spence he goes ahead and still keeps ducking Crawford, where did Crawford go from here?
We don't know. Maybe there's been a lot of talk about what Crawford will do. Maybe they say he goes signs with Eddie Hearn. Maybe he goes does something else. But I want to get to Carl's comment. He says, "Yeah, I agree, bro. I'm over Kambosos talking shit on Twitter. My boy needs a name to fight next. Not keep replaying shit and saying and still it's annoying as fuck." I agree. I agree. Like straight up. I like George Kambosos. I don't have any reason to dislike him. I think he's a fantastic fighter and a hell of a man because I've met him in real life. So there's no need to talk shit about him. I know what he's about. But from the outside looking in, because they say in life perception is reality. From the outside looking in, it looks like he's a bit full of himself. And at this point, like I'm to the point where I'm to the point, Carl. And if you didn't see the live yesterday, I mean, me and Pops were going on a tirade. I'm to the point where I'm just like, shut the fuck up and get into negotiations. Stop going back and forth, Ryan and Devin on Twitter. Yeah, but I don't want to talk too much about that.
Yeah, and what's sad about the whole thing, a lot of fights have their own narrative and they drag it out and drag it out and drag it out. That when they actually want to make the fight, no matter how long it takes, the fans lose interest in it. That's my opinion. That's my thing on that. How much fans are really interested on seeing Spence? Either with Spence and Crawford. They've been hearing this for how long? And so forth, so forth. So I'm going to say again, the narrative will go on forever, and then the fans are going to lose interest in it. And that's what's going to happen to Kambosos if they continue with the same thing. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Hyro, shout out to my main man, Hyro. He says, I'm looking for you, LOL. You actually put the clip. Yeah, of course. Thank you, Hyro. Thanks for the clip. George is turning into the person he said, we all said he wasn't. Yeah, but look, man, I guess when you get some money and some status and everyone's telling you you're great and you go from being an overlooked fighter in boxing, just a regular guy on the street, to being a superstar, multi-million-dollar fighter overnight, it's easy for you to believe your own hype.
Let's not kid ourselves. We know that Kambosos respects his training habits, what he does and everything, but the reality is a lot of people are not picking him to keep those belts for too long. So he's got to actually, in my point, he's got to actually find out economically what's the best check from this time around, because there might not be another go around.
No, absolutely. But as far as Crawford is concerned, Pops, I've been seeing a lot of people saying on YouTube and in the boxing world, they've been cool because Eddie Hearn does a lot of interviews and he says a lot of different things in different interviews. And Eddie Hearn said in one of these interviews that it would be best for Terence Crawford to sign PBC. So now all the Spence fanboys have been going around saying, see, he signed PBC. But the one thing they forgot to mention is that Eddie Hearn also said this just today.
He'll be a little bit. I don't think Errol Spence really wants to fight Terence Crawford. In all honesty, I think he's going to fight Ugas. Those guys have got to just lose, I guess, a little bit of the chip on the shoulder to think they're bigger than each other. Like, it's a 50-50 split. Of course it is. I did more pay-per-view. Fuck. Just neither of you are massive draws on your own. Fight each other if you want to prove who's the best, if you truly believe you can win.
He literally just said the same shit I've been saying here on True School Sports for about 2-3 years. Yeah. Okay. Errol sells better than Terence Crawford on pay-per-view, but literally, he ain't no star on his own, and Terence ain't no star on his own either. They need each other. It's a big fight, 50-50, down the middle, make it happen. But we haven't got it yet because of egos, because of these guys' fan bases, particularly the Spence fanboys, gassing them up to no end. So the one that's been losing out in the end is the sport of boxing and the great fans of the sport of boxing.
Yeah, I'm telling people tired of hearing it. It's like an old broken record that's just a scratch. It repeats itself over and over, but it never gets played the right way. That's what's happening here. The fight needs to be made. The fans want to see it, and hopefully they get it sooner than later, because later it's going to be too late.
Pops, do you think Errol Spence will ever fight Terence Crawford?
Nope.
Why not?
I just see, from what I've seen, and I'm going to say it again, maybe I'm just going too fast about it. The way the last fight with Crawford, if he was somebody, he would have stepped in that ring and talked to Crawford, and let's get it on. I mean, he had no problem when Manny Pacquiao came in when he won the belt. When he fought last time, he had no problem accepting Manny when he fought that fight, Spence. in the ring and he just finished fighting. What would have been the difference if he went up there in the ring and talked to Crawford and said, "Hey, let's make this fight happen"? But instead, he freaking ran faster than Forrest Gump right out the stadium and said he had a place to go. He had no place to go. He didn't have an answer for the people. And then again, like I said, he doesn't have an answer for Crawford when they fight.
Man. Shout out to the Gambler. My man, John the Gambler. He says, Ugas beat Spence. Shout out to the Gambler. Now, when the Gambler says something about boxing, he's pretty.
Oh, that's why he wins a lot. He's coming on a lot.
He's got a pretty good record. So, listen, man, I want you to be right. Like, if there was ever a fight where I wanted you to be correct, I pray to God it's this one.
And what does it see? How do you see Ugas winning the fight?
I hope you're right, man. Because
he's always been right most of the time. Yeah, he's all the time, right?
He said Joe Joyce gonna beat Dubois.
Yeah.
I pray to God that you're right, man. Because personally, look, I don't think Spence is unbeatable. I think Errol Spence has lost something from the car crash. He is lacking that extra bit of quality. Because I went back and I watched Danny Garcia fight. He's still good. He's still intelligent and has a good volume jab and knows how to pressure you and goes to the body. But there's just that extra bit of quality that's not really there. And I think Ugas will have a chance to exploit it, countering him, lining up with right hands. Because we know, right? It's a southpaw versus orthodox matchup. So we know that the southpaw killer is that straight right hand. So if Ugas has that steak knife straight right hand sharpened and he's got to work in this fight, he can beat Errol Spence.
Yeah, he definitely can. He just have to. People are gonna look at like shout out to Johnny Boxing channel. Y'all need to subscribe to him. He came out and said the same thing. He said, we said earlier, they feel that Ugas doesn't have enough power to over dominate Spence when they get into the fight. I feel because I haven't seen no clips of what the hell is going on with Spence unless I've been sleeping. I feel that the ring rust. Spence coming back after a 2-year layoff, whatever how many layoff is.
Well, he fought Danny Garcia last year.
Okay, last year he fought Danny Garcia, but still, I still feel that he's still not. To me, he's not showing me enough to where he can win the fight. He will, if he's gonna dominate this, he better come out and do it quickly because I like that Cuban defense. I think that Cuban defense is gonna be harder than what you think.
We'll see. My prediction for the fight is a Errol Spence by decision.
And then maybe he might call out Crawford. Because
that's not happening. Can I tell you what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Keith Thurman's gonna show up to the fight, right? He's gonna show up to the fight. He'll be ringside. Keith one-time Thurman will be ringside, and he's gonna hop in the ring, and they're gonna do this WWE promotional face-to-face bullshit.
Yeah, I would say.
And then people are gonna get distracted and want to see the fight all of a sudden.
I don't.
That's what I think.
I don't think that Crawford should go to PBC. In my personal opinion, yes, they got Thurman. Yes, they got Spence, but. Is Al Heyman the genius is going to put the fight together, or what's he going to do? Or he's just going to put Crawford on the shelf and just go ahead and sell out Spencer like he's been doing the whole time?
I always say if being with Al Heyman was the end all be all, why on God's green earth has Keith Thurman not fought Spence yet? I know when Thurman was champion, he didn't really show the urgency to, but there's been pockets of time where
could have opportunity.
Huh?
You're right, he could have had an opportunity to fight him. I'm talking about Thurman.
There's a pocket of time where they could have explored that fight, but it's just not like being with Al Heyman doesn't guarantee you anything.
Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
And the thing about it is, Al Heyman needs to have Errol Spence do something, make a championship fight, whether it's with Crawford. Or whatever the case may be, but he's got to do something. He's got to make money for PBC, and he's got to find a way to do it.
The Gambler says he just kept Ugas needs to just keep jabbing the weak Errol Spence eye. But I know my dad doesn't believe in the eye, but in the event that it is a real thing, it will be something he could explain if it's actually real.
Yeah, I just think I was talking to my son even on this live. I just think that Ugas is a bigger, muscular. Stronger. That doesn't mean anything.
But muscles don't win fights.
Because we've seen that with Joshua.
Muscles don't win fights.
Don't win fights. But what I like about Ugas, if he was able to, maintain the legend Pacquiao, he couldn't get in with that. You don't think it's a different style?
It's a different fight. Yeah. Pacquiao's like 5'5". He's 42 years old.
Yeah, but I'm saying he had more quickness than that Spence had, and he was trying to get in, he couldn't get in the pockets. You don't think it's going to be hard for Spence? You think Spence is going to walk him down?
It's a different style.
But you think Spence is going to walk him down?
I don't think. Yeah. See, the gambler's with you though. He says that Ugas is bigger.
Yeah, that's what I'm going. I'm just thinking about it. I mean, you're right what you're saying about Pacquiao. It's a different style of fight, and whatever the case may be. But I just think that Ugas coming in here.
To be fair,
gambler. I don't know if you watched it earlier. I was telling BT that Ugas coming to this fight, he's going to have all the confidence in the world. More so now when he retired the legend. You don't think he's going to sit back and just let Spence, who's supposed to have an eye injury?
He talking some sense. I'm actually starting to believe Ugas for the more he talks.
What I'm saying, you don't think that I'm the point. You don't think that Ugas knows that Errol Spence is going to come in with that eye injury, and all this other shit? No. He's going there with that confidence of Pacquiao. He's going in and saying, listen, I won this belt from the legend. You think I'm going to let you walk me down here in Dallas? When I come all the way from damn Cuba? You know what I'm saying? On the boat and living the American dream? And I have a beautiful wife? Get out of here with that.
21 years old. Hey, I'll say this.
I don't think so.
Spence is very much a bully in there because, Spence is like what? He walks around like what? 180?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Huge. Have you seen him in person?
No.
Spence is huge in person. For welterweight, huge.
Yeah.
But Ugas is I've seen Ugas like 3 times in person.
But Ugas tall.
Huge, big.
He's tall.
Right?
He's tall too, right?
Yeah.
Tall.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you look at the best wins of Errol Spence's career, like Chris Algieri, Chris Algieri,
who's Spence?
Spence, yeah. Chris Algieri,
He won.
Porter, yeah. Chris Algieri, Porter. Who else am I missing? Danny Garcia.
Yep.
A lot of these guys were 40 pounders that eventually became 147 pounders. He beat Kell Brook, so I'm not gonna take away Kell Brook. Kell Brook was a good win, but.
Yeah, they say he's big though. They say he's like he walks around like 180 or something.
190, 190.
Jeez, you don't look on TV. You don't look when he's skinny like this.
He's huge.
So, do you think going to fight night when he does fight Ugas, even Ugas being that massive fighter with the muscles and everything, the tall fighter, everything? Do you think he's gonna come in there like more or less about?
I think Errol's gonna have to. I think if Errol beats Ugas, at least early, because I feel like early on it's gonna be a chess match, and if the fight's a chess match, it favors Ugas. Spence's best parts of the fight to me will be in the back half of the fight.
The question of the day is
when stamina becomes a factor, a real factor.
The question of the day: has Spence fought any fighter close to or more like Ugas' style of boxing? Because if you look at Ugas, he comes forward with that one foot in front, one style, Cuban style.
Maybe Kell Brook, maybe.
You think so?
I mean, not really, but as far as big welterweight, who has a good one too.
I don't think he's fought a guy like that. I don't think he has.
I mean, the Cuban style.
And then we haven't seen
Kell Brook. The thing with Kell Brook is I'm really not trying to discredit the win, but it's
no.
It's just reality.
No.
When Kell Brook fought Errol Spence, he literally just fought Golovkin.
Right.
And had to cut down 2 weight classes to fight him. So it's different.
All I'm saying is the style, the Cuban style that Ugas brings into the fight.
F. Rio says Mikey.
Are you serious?
He said,
I'm sorry, but
you don't think it's the same style? I know he's smaller, but you don't think it's like a similar style?
I'm going to say something, and you know what? I'm going to say the American way. Fuck Mikey.
Yo, chill.
Fuck Mikey Garcia. He ain't shit.
Why are you going on Mikey Garcia?
Fuck him. What has he done? He got fucked a wicked dick. Shout out to Spain and
Sandor Martin.
Exposed him. He's done. Fuck him. Sorry, motherfucker. But anyways, going back. So I like to see Ugas. I think Ugas' style, the way he comes forward, the Cuban way, which very stiff, comes in there on the high guard. Especially gonna get through that.
Rado K says, I got a feeling Spence can lose. Inactivity and injuries are both reasons why I see him losing to the top welterweights.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what?
We just seen that against Russell.
What about Lamont Peterson? You don't think they need Lamont Peterson? I think out of everybody on his resume, I think that might be the most accurate,
likely,
the most accurate.
They'll probably use some sparring because I'm gonna tell you right now, having that Cuban style, I don't care what anybody says. There's a reason why how he maintained and how he so you hold somebody like Pacquiao's movement and everything.
Neutralize them.
Spence doesn't have the same quickness, the same speed that the legend Pacquiao had, but if he can outsmart Pacquiao, believe me, he's gonna outsmart Spence.
That's not how it works. That's not how boxing works. But shit, I hope you're right.
I'm thinking about how.
I hope you're right.
I'm thinking about how the Cuban style of boxing, and you guys can tell me, Phil, if you agree with me or you don't agree with me. I mean, how many fighters can do what Ugas did to Pacquiao? And you guys, I keep saying Pacquiao. You guys say, why you go back? Because you're fighting a legend that's fought every freaking style, probably even Spencer style in the 20-year, 30-year ring that he had or whatever. He's done everything that he could possibly do. So you can't tell me that Ugas learning from that is not going to make it. I think it's going to make a difficult fight. I think it's going to be I don't think the political part. We can always say it's written in stone that he's not going to win because of this, because they already have it the way boxing is. But I feel that if Ugas goes in there and exposes Spence like he did Pacquiao, he'll win the fight.
Shit, I hope you're right.
Who are the judges? Who are the judges for that fight? They haven't said that yet?
No, of course not.
Because I know when you...
Go ahead. Carl says, yo, BT, what the fuck is in Pops' water? Shit, I don't know. I might gotta check it.
Yeah, listen, hear this out. One thing that BT always telling me too, sometimes he knows before the fight the judges or something. But it's PBC, it's not actually Golden Boy. You always say about Golden Boy with the judges and whatever. Will they play a part in this? Will they have a part in this? Who's going to be the referee? Is it going to be a Spanish guy that called out, that missed that knockout?
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
No disrespect to the Spanish guy. I forgot his name. God bless him. But I'm getting at, these are all questions you need to answer. But I think if Ugas goes in there and fights a smart fight, and with Spencer ring rust, it's going to be paid dividends for him.
What do you think about this? Efriel says he beat Pacquiao because Pacquiao overtrained. He was preparing for Errol, but ended up fighting Ugas.
That's a good point. I'm not going to say that, but I'm also going to say what I said earlier. Pacquiao has fought every style in the book.
Not the Cuban style before that.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I'm going to say again, like I think it's going to cause problems for Errol Spence. And like you said, Ugas is not no slouch. Ugas is a big guy. You're not going to be pushing him around. Spencer's not going to do what he's done to his other opponents. He's not going to push him around. He's not going to walk in there. That man down, what do you say, man down?
Man down, yeah.
Ain't happening with this Cuban guy. I'm telling you right now. This is a Cuban missile coming out.
I think Spencer's going to win pretty convincingly.
No way.
Ugas don't punch hard enough.
No, I get the damn.
I
think he will neutralize Spence like he did, so forth. And I'm going to go.
Listen,
I put my money on
dying for. Listen, I'm dying.
I'm always wrong too. I'm not perfect.
Listen. I'm dying for Errol Spence to lose this fight. Like, if he loses this fight, I'll be the happiest person on earth.
I think Ugas.
But
Brandon, just think about it. This guy just won. He beat the legend like Pacquiao. You think he's gonna come in and fold?
Yes. As a matter of fact,
you think Errol's gonna say, "Listen, I'm gonna pay you a little bit more if you fold," or whoever?
Of course.
No.
Yeah.
No. This Cuban come here living the American dream. He's coming to fight. He already exposed Pacquiao. He's gonna do the same thing to Spence, and that's gonna be the shockout.
I hope so, but I don't think so.
I'm gonna go with the gambler. Come on, you think gambler? Yeah.
What do you guys think? Shout out to everyone here. Make sure you hit that like button.
I'm just saying, like, and I keep saying that Pacquiao fought every kind of style, and he couldn't get in on Ugas. He couldn't get in. You think he's gonna let man down, just walk him down, and just knock? No, I don't think so.
The gambler says, "Put a lump on Ugas. It's easy money."
Oh shit!
Von Dutch says, "What's good, True School? What's good, Von Dutch? How you living, champ?"
Yeah, man.
We get here going live again.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure we keep
go going.
We maintain things and keep things afloat.
I think, and then again, when we seen Spence against Garcia, did he have a lot of ring rust? How did he look?
He looked like a.
How did he look at the old Spence that he was before?
No, he looked like he's just a solid fighter, a solid, B-level welterweight.
That's it.
Against Danny.
Okay, that was because.
And honestly, honestly, if Danny Garcia knew how to adjust at 147, because he never learned how to adjust at 147. If Danny Garcia fought with even a slight bit more urgency, Danny Garcia would have made that fight very interesting. Because the fight went how I thought it would go. Mm-hmm. It was 1-4. I scored a 116, 112 for Errol Spence. Literally, the fight went just how I thought it would go. I thought Errol would use his legs in spots. Yeah. I thought Errol would pot shot Danny to the body. I thought Errol would be methodical in breaking the body down. I thought Danny would land some good counter punches and wouldn't do shit. Like he would land a big counter shot or good counter shots, and he would sit there and he would pose. and he wouldn't show that urgency he needed to beat Spence. The only surprise of that fight was the fact that Danny Garcia was pivoting around Errol Spence. Danny Garcia, cement-footed, six-toe Danny Garcia was pivoting around Errol Spence. But he doesn't throw enough punches, and he doesn't have enough volume in the combinations he throws to beat an Errol Spence.
And
Ugas can do the same.
I know you talked about a lot of stuff. Out of the two fighters, Brandon, who's fought the better opponents? The better opponents
Between
the quality
Spence and Ugas?
Not the name, the quality opponent. Yeah. Right now, you can't say
equal. Maybe slightly Ugas. Equal.
You gotta give that to Ugas.
You don't have to give it to Ugas.
He beat a legend that Spence didn't want to fight.
He fought Porter. Ugas fought Porter. He fought Algeria early in his career.
Okay.
He fought Lamont Peterson.
Okay.
He fought
this is
maybe.
Okay.
Earl.
Ugas
Danny,
the best of the best. I'm sorry to tell you. He's gotta have the slight. I'll give him the slight edge.
I mean, Ugas
I'm not going to pay for this.
Ugas fought Amir Imam, Jamal James, Ray Robinson, Brian Perella, Sean Porter, Manny Pacquiao.
That's it, man. That's all you need.
No, I'll go with Spence. I think Spence fought better people.
Okay, will Spence knock out Ugas?
No, he's not gonna knock him out, but he's gonna
get a decision.
He's gonna get like a workman-like performance. You know, it'll be a workman-like performance. I mean, I'm saying he's gonna throw a lot of punches. He's gonna push the pace. He's gonna grind him down. He's not gonna knock him out.
Yeah,
it's just gonna be a good, solid. It'll be a little similar to the Danny fight.
Yeah, but you were saying that. What were we saying before that? I cut you off about Ugas being like Danny Garcia. He can spit like he could.
I'm saying like Danny Garcia is not known for footwork or pivoting, and he was pivoting around Errol Spence.
Like nothing.
6-toe cement footed Danny Garcia.
Jeez.
So what I'm saying is Ugas can do the same thing. F Rio says he will KO Yordenis Ugas. I'll believe that when I see it because Spence will win against Ugas, then he will fight Buff undisputed. No, he won't. He's scared of he's scared of Terence Crawford. I don't know what they're putting down there in the water in Dallas. You know, people I know from Dallas, they're not like Errol Spence. They'll fight people. Errol Spence don't want to fight Terence Crawford.
He's called man down. He put a ticket.
He could have been fought him in 2019. 2018.
Yeah. So
he doesn't.
He had an opportunity.
Huh?
He had an opportunity back then, and he didn't take advantage of it. What I will say is, as far as trainers, Brendan, who's got the better trainer based on experience, based on thing? I think Ugas has Salas.
Ugas has a better trainer.
Salas?
Ugas has a better trainer.
Yeah.
But
better than.
But your trainer can't fight for you.
It's up
to the fighters to execute the game plan.
But we seen Derek James. What's his name? Derek James. Yeah. When he had an interview, I think it was a few months ago. I could be wrong. Last year, when I think Fight Hype or the other nut job channel I can't stand.
Hold on. F says Terence wants too much money. Spence is the moneymaker. You know what?
Oh.
It's funny. Everybody always says Spence is the moneymaker, but if Spence is the moneymaker, how come Sean Porter had to go to Terence Crawford to get his highest payday?
Hello.
You know what? Hey, don't let me tell you. Don't let me talk about money. Let Eddie Hearn tell you the truth. Let Eddie Hearn tell you the truth about this fight. Eddie Hearn, talk to him.
It'll be a little bit. I don't think Errol Spence really wants to fight Terence Crawford. In all honesty, I think he's going to fight Ugas. Those guys have got to just lose, I guess, a little bit of the chip on the shoulder to think they're bigger than each other. Like it's a 50-50 split. Of course it is. I did more pay-per-view. Fuck. Like, just neither of you are massive draws on your own. Fight each other if you want to prove who's the best. If you truly believe you can.
Yeah. Neither of them, neither Spence nor Crawford are massive pay-per-view draws on their own. Spence can't fight like these no names and do crazy numbers on pay-per-view. Neither can Crawford. Right, they need each other.
The only time I can see Spence do something, if anything, is if it's his home state in Nebraska. The only time that I see Spence doing anything is his home state.
Everybody wants to talk about Errol Spence did all this against Mikey Garcia. Man, come on, let's not be foolish. We know the Mexicans came from Mikey Garcia.
Jeez.
We know they wasn't there.
Yeah. Come on, man. You can't.
He sold more. You're missing the point. Errol Spence is not a big star. Terence Crawford is not a big star. Like, you making it sound like he's Canelo or something like that. It doesn't matter. They need each other. It's the biggest fight in boxing. Errol may be a slightly bigger star than Terence, but Terence is by far, it's not even close. Terence by far is in a whole other galaxy as far as accomplishments. So they need each other. Make the fight happen. Or I've suggested this plenty of times. if Errol Spence and or Terence Crawford really believe themselves, why don't they do a 40-40 split and the winner gets the extra 20?
Yeah.
Why don't they do that? That would be fair.
Did you say that Errol's been holding on to the belt too long too? That why they haven't been taken away? Whatever it's racist.
Listen, man.
Man, we told me about that shit that we were talking about one time. You said that Spence been holding that belt. Why hasn't been taken away from him? He's been laying on Spence, laying off. He's only been on a year. How long has he had that belt? How many times has he fought? Has he even fought his mandatories?
I mean, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Okay, no.
Let's not go there today.
About both of them. Has Crawford fought all his mandatories, fulfill his responsibility?
His last fight was a mandatory.
Okay.
Sean Porter.
Okay, now how about Spence? Has he fulfilled his obligation to boxing and fought his mandatory? I want an answer.
No, of course not.
So okay,
he didn't want to fight Abdul Kakarov.
So he don't want to fight Crawford, but then he don't want to fight his mandatory. So where does he go from here? Honestly, I'm telling you right now.
All right, I'm gonna save you guys the trouble. This is what's gonna happen. Errol Spence is gonna win a very uneventful decision against Ugas in a performance that nobody remembers. Okay, he'll win a decision against Ugas. All right. After he wins the decision against Ugas, he will fight. I don't know what the order is gonna be. It could be in reverse, but he's either gonna fight either Thurman or the winner of Butiev-Stoyanis, or he'll fight the winner of Butiev-Stoyanis, and then he'll fight Thurman.
Yeah, but
he's not fighting Crawford.
You're not giving no credit to Ugas.
What you mean?
You're saying that Spence is going to win?
He's going to win. Ugas is not knocking him out. He's going to win.
I don't think he'll win.
He's going to win.
If Ugas goes in there, I'm going to stick to what I say. If Ugas gets in a high guard, makes it difficult with his Cuban angles, fights a different fight, but comes forward.
Cuban angles.
I'm trying to tell you.
Cuban angles.
I'm not saying fight. I'm saying like he's front forward, and he sit there, he block, and stay in a high guard. Spence ain't getting no points. I'm telling you right now. And I'm going to tell you right now. I'll say the more accomplished fighter between Spence and Crawford. Crawford has accomplished more, has done more, and he's got a dog in him that I have not seen in Spence yet.
You tripping. You just hate. At this point, you just hating.
On
this point,
who he beat down?
Who did he beat down? Kell Brook.
That's one fight he's been down. Go check Crawford's resume. He beat motherfuckers down when he had to beat them down.
I mean, it's true, but I'm just saying, like,
fuck Errol Spence. Everybody sees number one middleweight. He's done this. He's done shit. He be broken. He got the belt. Then all that shit.
I would love to see Spence versus Crawford, but PBC will keep the fight in house, and we'll get Spence Thurman. We're either getting Spence Thurman, or we're getting Spence Butiev or Spence Stoyanis.
But what do you think?
Those are the three fights we're looking at.
What do you think of the possibilities if, hypothetically, Crawford goes into El Heyman, PBC signs with them, that fight's gonna be made?
Yeah. Hold on. Before I answer your question, you tripping? Spence is a dog.
No, he will not.
That's what makes him. Hold on. That's what's got him to where he's at.
Okay, that's fine. He's a dog.
I think he's over.
But I'm saying he the only thing I see him do. He intimidated Mikey Garcia, but then again, who the fuck is Mikey Garcia? He never fought all his mandatory, fought the top fighters to get where he's at. So fuck Mikey Garcia. So I'm giving credit for that. The only fight I'm gonna give credit for, he put his American flag on. He went across the pond and he beat a British fighter that was top of his game and won the belt and brought him back to the U.S. That's the only thing I'm going to give him, okay?
But what about Chris Algieri when he was a prospect?
Algieri was decent.
What about
Sean Porter was good though. Sean Porter, okay, he fought
how about Peterson?
Lamar Peterson?
Yeah, what about Lamar Peterson?
Prime?
No, it wasn't his prime. It was after. I think it was like maybe 2018. 2018 he fought Peterson.
Okay. Now go tell me who Crawford fought. Come on.
147.
Tell me who he fought.
Jeff Horn. He fought Jeff Horn.
Who else he fought?
He fought Khan. He fought Brook, and he fought Jose Benavidez Jr. and he fought Porter. So that's his welterweight resume.
But that's because he turned out fights because nobody wants to fight him. Yeah, look at the whole thing. Look at the whole circle. Spence been in the PBC with Al Heyman, the genius, saying all this shit. He's and he has not accomplished enough as a budman. Nebraska's son is the baddest motherfucker in boxing in the welterweight division, and nobody wants a piece from him.
I agree with that.
Not Thurman, not Spence, not anybody else. And Ugas, I'm going to give him the edge again. I'm going to say it again. He beat a legend that fought every kind of style, and he couldn't get his punches in. And mark my word, you can bet it right here. Mark my word. Spence will not defeat, and if he does, it's not going to be by knockout. It's going to be a slight edge, but I don't think he'll beat Ugas. I think Ugas is not going to fold out guys think. He's been through a lot, so just go ahead and exhibit him. He's not going to do that. No.
Okay. Shout out to Charlie. He says, who are you gonna take the are you going to the fight? Are you gonna take Pops too? I am planning on going to Spence versus Ugas.
No, we don't know which one.
I'm taking Pops to one of these fights in April. I'm not sure which one.
I get my teeth fixed first.
Gotta get his teeth fixed, but hopefully Spence. Listen, I'm not sure. Listen, if I take Pops to Spence Ugas, I might need to bring brass knuckles and a pocket knife with me, just because you gonna be.
Listen, I act this way because we were talking like this, but my son sits me down, and every time we go, so I have to respect my son. And
no, I'm not going. No, I'm not going. When I go to the Ugas Spence fight, I'm not going as media. I'm going as a fan.
Okay.
Because I want to talk my shit, so I'm gonna go as a fan.
One thing, anytime it goes media, whatever, I have to respect my son, his platform. I get crazy, but then my son gives me medication to calm down. Like, I have to respect that. But I get crazy because I'm passionate. I could be wrong 100 times. I've been wrong before. So that's me.
Robert Sanchez, shout out to my guy Robert out there in Austin, Texas. He says, "I'm going to the fight with some Cuba shit on."
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the same thing. We go with Cuban flags.
Yeah, man. We gotta represent. No, I think like I said, he needs the support for the fans and everything. But I'm telling you, what he did to Manny Pacquiao is enough to make this fight harder than I am. And then again, have we seen how Spencer's been in social media as far as working out and everything?
Huh?
Spence, have we seen how he's working out, how he's looking in the gym?
No, that don't mean anything.
That's what I'm saying.
That don't mean anything.
Yeah.
As far as I think it was Ephriel. Ephriel says, who's Earl's last fight and who are Crawford's last 4 fights? Well, I know they had a common opponent. I know they both fought Sean Porter, and Errol Spence was over there going life and death with Sean Porter. And Terence Crawford had some problems too, but the difference is one guy went the distance and the other guy folded him and became the first guy to stop him. So it's just levels, man. Like you're comparing when we talk about Crawford Spence. Yeah. You're talking about a guy in Spence who's just a good welterweight. He's a good welterweight for this era. He's a good welterweight for this era. He's a very good welterweight. When we talk about Terence Crawford, we're talking about a great fighter, a first ballot Hall of Famer. He don't really, honestly, look. Who? Crawford. Yeah, he don't really need Spence. He's a Hall of Famer without Spence. Without Errol Spence, Terence Crawford is still an undisputed champion and a 2-division Ring Magazine linear world champion. Without Spence?
Do you blame Bob the Godfather and El Hammond for not making the fight too? You think he's angry about that too? Did he make that fight? As far as on Crawford's side, do you feel like he's
Bob Arum? Yeah, that's why he's suing him. He feels that Bob could have did a little bit more. Listen, my opinion is this with the Bob Arum situation. I think Bob did try to make the fight. I think there was talks, but when it comes to these big Top Rank versus PBC fights, we know it takes like everything under the sun for Top Rank and PBC to put 2 of their cash cows in the ring together. Yeah, they'll do like one of their cash cows against one of the lesser fighters, but never like the cash cows.
And the crazy thing about it is, I'm not going to change the topic. Let me go back to this. This is what I think my viewpoint on Crawford going with this lawsuit with Bob the Father and everything. I mean, wasn't Crawford that signed Crawford to make his career, make his money? Mm-hmm. So when he didn't have nothing, Bob the Father made him the money. And supposedly, I don't know. That's why I like it sometimes watching Johnny Boy, because he actually breaks down and he goes on the internet and looks at all the pay-per-views and tells you all about this and tells you tell you the truth about it. Literally, Bob the Father said that Terence Crawford didn't make him any money. I find that hard to believe.
Well, because the thing is, they're paying Terence Crawford very well. I mean,
that I will say. He did get big, even from the fights that weren't that. He was getting big money. So I will go what you're saying on that.
Shout out to my guy Ron Sizzle 402. He says Bud Crawford the best in the world. Nobody beats him. Let's be honest. Well, you know what's funny, Ron? A lot of people. Especially people that are pro Spence, that don't like Crawford, that want to discredit Terence Crawford at any chance they get. A lot of people they try to say, oh well, Jaron Ennis. Why don't Crawford fight Jaron Ennis? Listen, man. You guys know I think the world of Jaron Ennis, and I think if Crawford fought Jaron, I think if Jaron Ennis fought Crawford, it'd be a great fight. It'd be great for the sport. But I'm gonna tell you guys this: Jaron Ennis has not gone pat. He has not even touched the 7th or 8th round yet. So straight up. Like, really don't put Ennis in there with Crawford right now, because y'all might get Jaron Ennis beat up and exposed before he's ready for that fight. Straight up. And I like Ennis. I think Ennis can be competitive with any welterweight in the world, and he has the talent and skills to hold his own with any welterweight in the world and potentially beat them. But I still think he's like 2 or 3 fights away from.
And I will give the respect to him. I mean, he's stepping up, and he has to call him the big names and everything, and he wants the big fights. So he's a talented fighter from Philadelphia. So most talented fighters in Philadelphia, how they are. So I'll give him that. But I think he's not. I just don't think that if they will fight tomorrow, he's not ready for Crawford.
Yeah, no. Yvonne says, the gambler says, Ugas has faster hands and feet than Spence. He does. So we're going to see what happens.
Yeah.
The way Bob was speaking out about Crawford, it did hurt his career. Yeah, Bob was over there flapping his gums, with his wrinkles flaring up, talking about, you could have built a house in Beverly Hills with the money I lost in Crawford.
The one thing that you did, we always talk boxing, brother, you told me that he was more interesting in doing Lomachenko, promoting more Lomachenko than doing nothing for Crawford.
Yeah.
You did call me out on that. I remember you told me, you said, Pops, check this out.
I hate to be vulgar and say this, but man, like Bob Burnham had Lomachenko's dick lodged down his damn throat the whole time he was over there. So it's like you really should have been putting more efforts into Crawford. I don't think there was enough of an effort. And you know what's funny, Pops? Now look, people may not like this, but I gotta pose this question. Like with the black fighters, right? Why is it when you get black fighters who aren't outspoken, they just want to go ahead and do their job and fight, they don't really care about the money or not money, but like all the hooliganism or antics, they don't want to be like Floyd. How come when you get these black fighters that don't want to be attention whores and they just want to go and fight, it's an issue? Why is it? Do you agree with me? Like, because like I'm seeing a pattern in boxing, like Andre Ward, Demetrius Andrade, Crawford. These are all guys that they're not really into like being social media stars. They're not going to talk, too much. No. They just want to go and do their job. And it seems to be a problem. But like when you get these like Russian fighters that don't speak no English, it's not a problem for them.
Yeah, but I think what it is, especially for the old promoters like Don King, like the Godfather, and in boxing in general, you got to have somehow bring interest to the fans. And just talking a good game until the fight and hyping up the fight. That's what they're talking about. And I think the boxer's like, he doesn't do that. He doesn't sell himself. He doesn't do enough. Yeah, he sells himself when he goes in the ring and beats his opponent. But as far as part of the fight, doesn't do enough to promote it. But then again, the Top Rank doesn't promote. Don't put enough promotion for some of the
Lomachenko doesn't go and talk.
Yeah, Look at Josh Taylor. Well, last fight. Well, I think what's the I forgot what
Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez. Big fight. They didn't promote that fight that good,
They really didn't. It was very, very underpromoted. But Ephraim says Jake Paul said he wants to sign Crawford. Shit, I guarantee you. I guarantee you, Jake Paul would do a better job than every promoter in boxing if he promoted Terence Crawford. I'll bet a lump on that.
I think Ben was telling me the other day about the PBC stable. A lot of dirt came out from Broner talking about the millions. I don't know exactly what they did or whatever, but he came up with all kinds of crazy stuff, right? Yeah.
JD Vlenka says, when asked about Carver being a free agent, Bob said, and I quote, "It's like when Lincoln freed the slaves. Now Carver can do what he wants." He really said that?
That's disrespectful.
That's fucking disrespectful.
That right there, he definitely needs a lawsuit. If he said it like that, that's wrong.
That's extremely disrespectful.
How would you say something like that?
It seems this is the way everybody avoids Carver. Just don't sign him. Yeah, man. It's a really sad state of affairs. Because the reality is this. I know everybody. I know a lot of people are drinking the Canelo Alvarez Kool-Aid. I know a lot of people like myself rate Usyk number one pound for pound. But if you want to be all the way honest, there's been nobody in all of boxing over the last 7 to 8 years that has been a more consistent champion than Terence Crawford. Nobody. He has literally not gone the distance since he fought Victor Postol in 2016.
Wow.
His last 8 straight fights. And that's hard to do. A lot of people want to sit there and they want to nitpick his resume. They say, oh, who's he fought? But listen, I know plenty of guys. There's plenty of champions in boxing who fought less than stellar opposition, and they weren't stopping no 8 straight people in a row. Consistent. And it's not just the fact that he stopped 8 straight people. It's every style. Tall, rangy guys, swarmers, boxers. All kinds of different styles. The outcome is still the same. It doesn't matter if Crawford starts off fast or if Crawford starts off slow, or if you win a couple rounds against Crawford, or if you hurt Crawford and stagger him and a questionable knockdown occurs. The result is still the same. You get stopped.
Yeah,
and that's consistency.
You got the dog in him, like I always say.
I mean, if you were to go on the pound for pound list, and you know what? Let's do something real quickly because I want to show you guys something because I don't think this gets talked about enough. Yeah. Just the consistency of Crawford, and I'm gonna show you guys this in a way where you can get it through your thick skulls that Terence Crawford, whether you like it or not, is the most consistent champion in boxing and has been for the last damn near decade. Hold on, annual ratings, because there's been a lot of guys. I mean, over these last 8 years, there's been a lot of guys that have came and gone on the pound for pound list.
Right.
And,
are they still there?
But the one constant. I mean, let's see. Let's go. We'll start from We'll go to screen share. We will go to screen share. Shout out to everyone here. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Definitely take the time to super chat if you like the content. Where we at? Screen share. All right, so share screen. So look, we're gonna go to screen share because I want you guys to be on the same page with me as I go through my points. All right, so we're gonna go to the Ring Magazine annual rankings. Now, I believe Crawford might have cracked the list around 2014, 2015, something like that. Let me make sure. I think it was 2014-ish. No, that's not it. I need pound for pound list. What's a pound for pound list? Where are you at? I gotta find it. Oh, pound for pound. Okay, the 2000s, 2010. So we'll go to 2010s. So here's a pound for pound list. So what year did Crawford enter the pound for pound list? What year? 2016, right? So yeah, 2015. So Terence Crawford cracked the pound for pound list in 2015. That was the time that Roman Gonzalez was pound for pound king. So he was number 6 at that time. So let's count how many guys have came in and entered and exited the pound for pound list over the years. You've had Timothy Bradley, who was fucking retired, who was on the pound for pound list when Crawford first entered it. You had Shitsuki Yamanaka, who's now retired, who's on the pound for pound list. You had Rigondeaux, who's still active but not on the pound for pound list. You had Ward, who's retired, not on the who was on the pound for pound list. Golovkin, he's not there no more. Kovalev's not there. Chocolatito, great fighter. He might get back on there, but he's not there right now. The one constant through boxing over the last I don't know how many years has been Terence Crawford on the pound for pound list. 2016, same thing. Same thing in 2016. Crawford and Canelo, those are your two constants over these last I don't know how many years. Carl Frampton, he had a good little run. Yeah. Add him to the list. Rungvisai, he was in the pound for pound list. Mike Garcia was in the pound for pound list. All these fighters, they come and they go. They have one good year. Donnie Nietes, freaking Beterbiev on the pound for pound list. Gaio Estrada. All these guys come and they go, and the rankings fluctuate, and guys have close fights, and guys get knocked out, and guys fight up and down. But the one constant always since 2015, and it's right here for you. Since 2015, the one constant on boxing pound for pound list, apart from Canelo Alvarez, has been Terence Crawford.
So you're saying, so one word to describe him:
consistency, and not to throw salt on Canelo, but to be honest, in this block of time, there's been fights where Canelo's had close fights. Yeah. Some fights they thought he lost. Some fights they thought he got gift decisions. Some fights that people thought were cherry picks. Mm-hmm. So you can even make the argument had Canelo actually lost, let's say one of those Golovkin fights. Would he even be on the pound for pound list? Yeah. Terence Crawford is the only guy that's been a constant on the pound for pound list over the last 7 years or so that has had no controversy in that boxing ring. And all of his fights have only ended in two ways: UD or stoppage.
Yeah, real quick. Yeah,
and that can't be understated. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, the comments say
Let me see. The comments say, RR1000, shout out to you. He says, True School Sports Empire in the motherfucking house. Absolutely, champ. We're here.
Thank you for being here.
Black Magic says, for real, Canelo was never undisputed. He had one loss, one draw. How is he number one over Crawford? Yeah, Canelo was not number one over Crawford. And personally, look, I don't have a Crawford number one, to be honest. I have Usyk number one, but I'm not mad if anybody puts Crawford over Usyk. I think right now, for me personally, them two are interchangeable. If you got Crawford one, that's cool. If you got Usyk one, that's cool too. But that's who it is, But he didn't. What if? Well, listen. If you're comparing two guys that have both been on the pound for pound list for the last 7 years, and one guy has been fighting Rocky Fielding, Yildirim, getting gift decisions and controversial decisions, and the other guy's been knocking out 8 opponents, leaving no stones unturned, going undisputed, having other top guys avoid him. You know, I'm gonna go with that guy. I'm gonna go with that guy over the guy that's getting the controversial decisions. Why? Because he's showing that he's on such a high level that he will not leave it to chance. He will not even allow people to question if him and the guy that's on the other side of the ring are on the same level. And you don't got to ask that question when you talk about Terence Crawford ever, because the results have been the same for about 5 years now in the same fashion. So that's what it is. Mm-hmm. How you feel? What do you think, Fox?
I think, I mean, the facts speak for themselves. My 4 eyes can't lie to me. You're calling out a good point out there. I mean, well, we know that Spencer has been in the pump for that long, in the ratings. But I think at the day,
like think about it. Yeah, like Von Dutch is right. Crawford has been on the pound for pound list for 6 years. 6 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to stay there. I mean, credit to Canelo as well. He's been there for a while, a long time as well, about the same amount of time. But like that level of consistency, that level of just greatness in the sport, it's you don't see that all the time, and people really need to appreciate this man while he's here, because I'm telling you, there's gonna come a time where he decides to hang up those gloves, and when that time comes, you guys are gonna miss Terence Crawford.
What's messed up about boxing is and we say boxing is a business. Everything's about how many sales you make, how much money you make. You really don't look at the quality of a fighter, appreciate what a fighter is like, unless he sells out big time. I'm not saying not all, but most. Unless you sell out big stadium consistently or make enough money for boxing and the promoters, then you all of a sudden the media and everybody else wants to be biased towards that.
F-Real says he's undisputed now. Canelo. Yeah, I mean, congrats. Let's give Canelo a round of applause for catching up to Terence Crawford. I mean, Crawford was undisputed in 2018. He's the guy that made it cool to go undisputed. He's the guy that really of the newer fighters. Right. He's the guy that really set the tone, and he was undisputed first. So let's congratulate Canelo for doing in 60 fights what Crawford did. What like 32, 33 fights. Josh Taylor did it in like 15 fights. Usyk did it like in 30, whatever it was. 13 fights. So I mean, it's cool, but like if they've all won undisputed, you gotta look at how quick they do it and who they do it against. Yeah. Who do they do it against? Now, obviously, the knocks on Crawford's going to be, well, he was at 140. 140 wasn't the strongest when he was there. And that's a fair point, but I don't think 168 was much stronger either when Canelo was there.
So anyway, so you got to put credit and give flowers to this guy. And I'll say it again. There's a reason, like fighters like Andre, even though he's not Andre, or even Crawford don't get the fights to get it. It's because they know what type of quality fighters they are and how good they are. It's funny, Pops. Boxing is the only sport where you get punished for being good. That's crazy. Like basketball, baseball, football, any other sport. If you're good, you get glorified for it. The number one place, number two. But boxing is the one sport where if you're good, if you're too good, you can be good, but don't be too good. Yeah, and I truly believe when you say boxing is a real lonely sport, brother.
What you mean?
What I'm saying, your quality, you're a great fighter, you do everything right, you go by the book, you do everything you can, such as Crawford, and even Spence, but whoever else, and you don't get the credit you deserve. I mean, what else is he got to do? Get up on the Empire State Building?
I tell these young fighters all the time. Yeah. You guys, I was talking to a fighter the other day. Yeah. I told him, look, your fight, obviously you got to win in the ring and you got fights in the ring, but most of your fighting in this boxing is outside the ring with your managers, with your promoters. Always, they're always trying to get what they can out of you and get you, try to cheapen you and get the most out of you, extract the most out of you, but not give you what you're really worth. But then also, a lot of boxing doesn't really come down to. But listen, the sad truth about boxing at the high level, when you're talking about millions of dollars and networks and things like that, the sad truth is, and I hate to tell you guys, but the reality is, it's not really about who's the best. It really comes down to who has who behind them. Because whoever you have behind you, they're the ones that set the narratives. If the narratives about you are that you're boring or you haven't fought anybody. Boxing fans, most boxing fans, I hate to say it, most boxing fans are fucking idiots. They're not going to go out there.
No disrespect, I'm just saying.
I'm telling you the truth. They're not going to go out there. They're not going to do their own homework. They're not going to do their due diligence. They're just going to take whatever the media feeds them as the gospel. And if a fighter is said to be boring or not good or he doesn't sell, and there's negative things about him. That's what that's what it is about him.
And if you're not an astute person that actually studies boxing, an avid and knows stuff, you won't realize that sometimes some fighters that the media they're bringing up are fighting fighters lesser weight. You just assume that they're the same weight, but when you really they're not. It's a false narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with the media, social media, and everybody else. That you want to put out a false narrative, and for some reason, Crawford's not getting the credit he deserves. And I think that if you try to make the best fights, if he moves up or goes down, he's never going to get what he deserves.
Absolutely. Mitchell Berg says, I think Spence is going to fight Thurman if he gets past Ugas. I'm ready for Ugas because he doesn't duck no one. No, Ugas is a real warrior of the sport. This is a guy that when Ugas was 14-3 and looked at him to be a bust, I mean, this guy took fights on short money for like $10,000 or less. They threw him in there with higher risk, low reward fighters. Like they put when Ugas lost to Amir Imam and he had to build himself back up. Do you know? It might have been his first fight, but do you know what one of his first fights when he was rebuilding himself was? Like, imagine you already lost 3 times in your career and you're trying to get your career on track. You already lost 3 times. You can't lose no more.
All right.
The first fight they gave him was undefeated young Jamal James, 20-0 Jamal James.
Hell no.
That was the first fight they gave him.
He took it?
He took it and he won.
Oh, shit. He did.
Then he fought.
Shout out for the Cuban. I ain't Puerto Rico, but shout out to him.
Then he fought Brian Perella, undefeated Brian.
Wow.
Perella, the one that fought 20.
Yeah.
Remember, the last guy Harrison fought.
Right.
Harrison was supposed to win, and the guy moved to 4. That's who Ugas fought after Perella. And then after he got past those two, they put him there with Ray Robinson.
Another
the same Ray Robinson that a tall southpaw, not an easy guy to look good against.
Right.
He didn't just beat Ray Robinson. He fucking stopped Ray Robinson. He's the first guy to stop Ray Robinson and the only guy to stop Robinson to this day. And Ray Robinson obviously went on to fight the guys like Kavaluskas and Josh Kelly and fought them in good fights.
With credit is due regardless. That's when you don't.
Ugas a true fighter, bro.
When you got a narrative, you don't have a narrative whether it's negative, whatever. You got to watch for yourself and see for yourself and do your homework on yourself.
Nathan Carey, shout out to my guy Nathan Carey out there in the UK. He says John Ruiz still thinks he's the WBA heavyweight champion and shit. So does
he's waiting for the big fight.
Yeah,
he's right about
if Trevor Bryan and what's his name Dubois fight, Freza Kendall's gonna come over the top rope and foul an injunction and blow this whole shit up like he did with Charlie that one time.
You got a good point on that. What has Ruiz done since he lost the
fight?
No,
it's a joke.
Okay.
Not Eddie, John, the one that fought Roy Jones.
Okay.
Yeah. Robert says, Andre said it best. American fighters have a disadvantage because they have little to no fans. They don't, because it's popular. Like, it's become a popular thing in America to hate the American fighters. And you know what? Like, I don't want to get political or anything like that, but I feel like boxing a lot of times is a great reflection of the world.
Yeah, and about life and everything else. Yeah,
it's a great reflection of what's going on in the world. You know, if patriotism in the country is down, then of course people are going to look down on the American fighters because it's not cool. It's not cool to talk good about American fighters. It's much better to come here on YouTube and say, these guys are marrow bums and they suck and they're divas and this, that, and the third. But that's not the truth of all American fighters. Only some American fighters. Conor Benn has lost his mind. He's a small welterweight. Yeah, I mean that Chris Eubank thing. It's just a cash grab. That's what it is. It's a cash grab. Carl says, bring back the OG Don King. He made all the motherfucking fights we want to see. I agree.
Yeah,
we need Don King. Don King need to come back. Don King needs to come back. He needs to come back. Don't you think so, Don? Don, answer my question. Do you think you should come back?
Hey, everybody, let's have some fun. You don't live but once, and when you're dead, you're done. So let the good times roll. It don't matter whether you're young or old. Let the good times roll.
Bring him back, man. We need him back to save the world. I'll tell you this. If Don King would have been involved with Crawford versus Spence on any level, this shit would have happened in 2019.
That's right.
This would have happened in 2019 because Don King makes things happen. Von Dutch says Crawford checks off all the boxes stylistically: hand speed, ring IQ, punching power, counter punching, defense, and his ability to completely switch from southpaw to orthodox. Natural fighting instincts. You got it. You pretty much summed it up.
Yeah.
You pretty much summed it up, Von Dutch. I mean, he's got all. He's the total package in boxing. And that's just what it is. As far as being a fighter, the total package.
So you're saying what? Another 2 years that fight will be made?
What fight?
The prediction, if it ever happens.
It's never happening. But I think Spence is fighting Butiev or Styonus next, or he's fighting, and after that he's fighting Thurman. That's the roadmap. Butiev, Styonus, the winner of that fight.
Yeah.
Thurman, and then 54. You know what I'm saying? Go to 54. You know, when Jamel moves up, go to 54, fight for a vacant belt, you know, become 2 division champion, you know.
It's crazy, man. Jeez. The fans at the end of the day ain't not losing anyways. You have to go buy the freaking game to play to fight you 2 fighters. It's just crazy.
It's absolutely crazy.
It is.
Carl says Don King would have walked out with the winner either way. He did.
Yeah.
Don King. Listen, Don King.
It's a smart investment. Yeah.
Smart man.
Oh yeah, that's right. Get that right.
By the way, guys, in other news in boxing, I don't know if you saw this today, Pops. You see this? Tony Yoka and Martin Bacoli got rescheduled for May 14th. Remember, because for those of you that don't know, Tony Yoka actually had accepted to fight Philip Hrgovic originally before Hrgovic eventually got the Zhang Zhilei fight.
Yeah.
And then Bacoli sent a protest to the IBF to block the fight. IBF honored the request, so the fight's gonna happen 4 days before your birthday in Paris, May 14th.
Yeah, mark it down. Yeah.
What do you think about that fight, Tony Yoka versus Bacoli?
I think I like Tony Yoka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bacoli's whatever. He cried about his shit. So
okay.
It's boxing.
It's boxing. Also, Conor Ben came out today because he didn't like the fact that people have been saying that he's conning the public, fighting all these 40-pounders.
Somebody called him out on that?
Yeah, he did an interview. He said, I quote, "It's got nothing to do with whether or not I'm ready or not." Hold on. Let's go to screen share.
Called him out.
Let's go to screen share so you guys can read along with me. But Ben said, and this is the article right here on Boxing Scene. Ben pretty much said it's got nothing to do with whether or not I'm ready or not. For as long as I'm progressing the way I'm progressing, why are they going to throw me in when I haven't reached my full potential yet? I haven't got to go, so why am I going to? It's not that time for hard. It's not the hard fights. It's not that the hard fights don't come. I can see what my team are doing. Look at how I progressed from Sebastian Formella to Algieri, then to Granados. So while we're progressing that quick, if the growth is that quick, why not wait until you know I'm there? The likes of Virgil Ortiz, Jaron Ennis, the creme de la creme of Errol Spence, Ugas. I'll fight Ugas now, and I get it, and the public should get it. Allow your fighters to have as many fights as they can. We're not calling the public. We're not. You know, fooling the people, this or that. I'm going to wait until I reach my full potential. For as long as I'm growing, I'm still growing. For as long as I'm still growing, I ain't in no hurry at all. Why? What is the hurry? Will I fight Virgil Ortiz? 1,000,000% I will. Will I fight Jaron Ennis? 1,000,000% I will. Errol Spence, Ugas, Thurman? 1,000,000% when the timing is right for me.
But I don't think that's the question there. The question is you're not fighting a true 147.
You know what? Listen, well, I'll cut the bullshit.
You're not fighting the true 147 pounders. So
I guarantee you, if I had Eddie Hunter in front of me and I say, Eddie, win or lose, would you put Conor Ben in the fight with Michael McKinson? I guarantee you, he's not putting in there Michael McKinson. I guarantee you, he won't. As much of a feather-fisted fighter as Michael McKinson is, he will not put Conor Ben in there with a slick southpaw with an awkward style. So don't try to sell us chicken shit and dress it up as chicken. All right, you're fighting guys who years ago they were top 40 pounders and made a little bit of noise at 147, and the guys like Jiri and Granados, these guys, but they're not 47 pounders. And at some point in time, you gotta fight these 47 pounders.
That's the reality.
And mind you, I like Conor Ben.
We got great interviews with him, But yeah, I just think that don't get upset if the public's calling you out when you're trying, like Brendan was saying, like you're selling.
They're trying to they're trying to fight Maurice Hooker next. What do you think about that fight? It's a known fact that Maurice Hooker is a 40 pounder, former 140 pound champion. He just fought Virgil his last fight, and we know he's coming out of a hand surgery. It's just ridiculous. He broke his hand in the damn fight. Just goes on. So what is Ben gonna do? Just fight all these guys leftovers, and then try to get a knockout before they did, and then say, "Look what I did to him, and look what he did to him." But he won't fight the person he's comparing himself to.
What's Teal's 140 now, right?
Teal's at 47.
Oh, 140. Okay, 140. Yeah.
Oh no, Teal's going 140.
Yeah, 140. So if you want to pick out of your hats, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying, you want to pick out names out of the hat, and you just want to fight 140 instead of fighting the actual 147. Please take Teal.
Call out Josh Taylor. Call out that 40.
Yeah, that one too. Please call him out, because I'm gonna tell you, the reality is, I've always said that as long as you got and nothing against Eddie Hearn, he's a great salesman. He'll sell you horse shit on a sandwich, and somebody will eat it. It's just the way he talks. That's what he's doing. He's selling the public a narrative that's not fair. Fight 140, fight 247. When I was boxing, when I did it back in Lowell, whatever was that, it was always the weight was always the same. It was never like, all this crazy stuff like you see now.
Yeah.
You don't.
Black Magic says, you don't think Al and Bob are friends and speak regularly? Listen, all these promoters speak regularly. They have to. It's part of the job. It's part of the business. And listen, even if Bob and Al don't speak to each other regularly, you can best believe they have associates that speak together regularly. So yeah, Al may not speak to Bob, but Bob speaks to Lou DiBella and Bob speaks to Tom Brown of TGB Promotions, and he talks to guys that work under the Al Heyman umbrella. So they don't really need to speak to each other regularly because they have people, managers, promoters, other liaisons in place that will speak on their behalf. You know, boxing's a small world. Like, you guys be surprised. Like, and on all levels, I'm talking about like from fighters to promoters to managers to media. So like, there's some times where I meet people in boxing that, I mean, I don't know them and they never met me, but like, they know me and they know of me and they can know a lot about me if I'm not careful with who I divulge certain information to in boxing. You know, so and there's been times where I meet people in boxing and they don't know that I know certain things about them, but boxing's a small world. Like, that's why you gotta be careful with who you get close to in the sport, because it could really be to your benefit or it could really be to your detriment. So that's what it is. Carl says, Charlo versus Castaño, who you got, BT? Man, it's a tough one. I feel like Charlo kind of got used to the Castaño style later in the fight, and he kind of figured him out. And I think Castaño has one of these styles where, and he's the kind of fighter that when you see him style more than once, you get used to it. And I think this time Charlo's gonna get him. I know Pops may have a different opinion.
No,
nope.
I think they gave him the first fight. They're not gonna give him the second fight. Nope. I don't think so. I think Castaño's gonna come in there, do the same thing he did the first fight, put the pressure on him, did what he did because he would look to me like he looked the better fighter all the way along. And for me to see him lose that fight, and that's not taking no disrespect from Charlo, because this is the little one that we got respect for, not the big brother. So I respect him too, and if he comes out there and he dogs like Castaño, so be it. But for me, I'm sticking with Castaño.
No, absolutely, 100%. I got Charlo. I got Charlo. Who knows? Maybe I go to that fight. Maybe I go to that fight if they get certain fighters on the undercard. If they put like an Angelo Leo on the undercard, we there. Yeah. But if they don't put Angelo Leo on the undercard, March 19th, I'm gonna be watching Virgil Ortiz versus Michael McKinton because I like that fight a lot. Shout out to my guy Chase Athletics from Philadelphia. He says the untouchable. Hit the like, people. That's right, the untouchable.
Thank you, Chase. God bless.
Hope you're good, champ. Yeah. Hope all is well. Damn, Pops, that's a hell of a prediction.
No, I mean, Jamel is no joke, and he's proven it, and he's done his thing. So you gotta give him respect, and I really like it. And he makes a good fight because he's always talking this and that. But I just think Castaño went in there and did it, and I honestly think he got robbed in that fight. That's my own opinion. I think it was that to me, and so I want to go with the big guns that he had, the way he came out, and that's not saying that Charlo won't make adjustments because he did it against Tony Harrison. Yeah, you know, so yeah.
Carl says, I can't wait for the undercard to that fight. I want to see how my boy Tim Tszyu shakes up against Terrell Goucher. That's a good fight. Did you hear about that, Pops?
Tim Tszyu was in his first American
debut on the Charlo Castaño undercard.
I like Tim Tszyu. I think it's about time he comes over here and get that name more recognized because he deserves it.
And he's not listen. I mean, there's better fighters out there than Terrell Goucher, but you can do a lot worse than him in the 154 pound division. You know, former U.S. Olympian, been there with good fighters. Can box. It's not easy to hit. Right. You know, good fight.
I think it's good. We're
gonna see what Tim Tszyu got. You know, I think when that fight happens, that to me, that's the true start of his career. Fighting, you know, on big American cards, again, in good fights. So we'll see what happens.
He's traveled all over too, but he didn't just stay at home and fight the whole time. Tim Tszyu was going around and fought too. He just never came to America.
It's true. Ben won't even fight Michael McKinton. He saw what happened to Josh Elley with David Avanesyan. Oh yeah. And it's funny too because I saw an interview like within the last couple of weeks where Eddie Hearn was asked about fighting David Avanesyan. He was like, David Avanesyan, no, we don't want that fight, but Maurice Hooker, more 140 pounders want those fights. So David Avanesyan, listen, we knew that David Avanesyan would
be something.
David Avanesyan's very strong, very physical. Josh Kelly at one point was supposed to be the next big star of British boxing,
Is he a pro bono now?
and David Avanesyan just ruined him. I mean, he ain't been the same since. He ain't been the same since.
Won't be the same
so he doesn't want another. He doesn't want another Josh Kelly situation.
He learned from that.
He learned.
Yeah.
So he said, you know what? We with him being Nigel Benn's son, he's really being extra careful.
Yeah. You
know, because he wants to make sure he does right by Nigel Benn's son.
Of course.
Let me see. Robert Sanchez says, I'm waiting for Shakur Stevenson to sign his contract after calling out Valdez for not signing his part, even though Valdez did it first. Yeah, listen, hopefully that fight gets over the line, and hopefully that fight can happen.
Oh, he didn't sign yet?
Because if that fight doesn't happen on April 30th, then that means that the biggest fight women's boxing between Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor is going to be that much bigger.
It was already finalized.
Huh? No. Yeah, IMO says you and your dad look like twins. Well, that's a good thing because at least I'm not like these other kids out here who, they're victims of paternity fraud. They grow up for 17, 18, 20 years. Yeah. They grow up for 17, 18, 20 years, and they think that the guy that's their stepdad is really their dad, and they find out that their mother behind their back, unbeknownst to the father, was having relations and getting piped by the milkman. So it's good. It's good.
When we go to games, they always think we're brothers.
They do. Efrio says, Pops, like your son said, Charlo will knock him out in the late rounds like he did with Harrison. Damn right. Talk to him.
But I
keep one in your mouth.
I did bring
keep one in your mouth.
I did bring it up, and I said that Charlo will make his adjustment like he did with Harrison in the rematch. He did what he had to do. But guess what? I'm still going Castaño. And if I get humble, I get humble. I'm just going to go. I'm going on what Castaño did to Charlo in the first fight. Yeah. If Charlo has no answer for that in the second fight, it's going to be the same result, but he'll probably get a gifted position.
Black Magic Genetics says, IMO, that's his father. Oh, I hope you look a little bit like your dad too. Hopefully, man. Listen, I didn't know it was such a crazy thing to look like your father, but I appreciate it.
God bless everybody.
Hyro says, Pops, I hope you're doing well. I'm bumping and grinding as I go. Crawford wants all the smoke.
You're on Crawford's side now?
You're on Crawford's side. Hyro was like a yo-yo.
Yeah, I like Crawford. He's got a dog in him.
Yvonne, the gambler says Virgil stops McKinson in the later rounds, and I'm thinking something along the same lines, But I like Michael. Michael McKinson. Credit to him. He's been put in tough already with some like Chris Congo. He supposed to lose Chris Congo fight, and now he's stepping up to the plate. So respect.
And in the future fight of the gambler, who you got? Ortiz or you got Ennis? Please tell me who you got so
I think I know who he's going to pick.
Quiet, my son.
Carl says they released both Tim Zhu and George Kambosos' earnings last year, and Tim earned $6.5 million and George earned $4 million. Johnny Boy, what's good? He says, hey, Pops and BT. Shout out to Johnny Boy. Make sure you go subscribe to him.
Yeah.
And then
I love Johnny. Johnny calls it the way it is and tells you the way it is.
IMO said that was a compliment about you and your dad, bro. You guys are like brothers. No, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I like Johnny Boy, man. You'll go follow him. That guy right there just says the way whatever comes out of his mouth, he just says it. I respect that.
Yeah, he shoots it right from the hip.
That's it. But the thing is, Johnny knows his boxing. You can't bullshit Johnny.
No, that you can't. That you can't. Pops, did you see that Ivan Ditchko signed with Probellum? This just came out 2 minutes ago. Ivan Ditchko with Probellum. His career is done. For those of you who don't know, Ivan Ditchko was I think he was a bronze medalist in the 2012 Olympics, something like that.
Wasn't he a local fighter down here?
He was fighting here in South. He was a promising heavyweight. He had two really close fights to Anthony Joshua in the amateurs.
The only thing I remember about him when we interviewed him in the local fight was he wanted a hamburger after the fight.
He wanted a hamburger.
American weight.
His career is done.
How many shows the Probellum's done?
You signed Probellum, your career is done.
But you're basing that on what happened last time, right?
I'm basing that on Richard Schaefer failing once with Ring Star Sports. To me, this is Ring Star Sports 2.0. I don't know if any of you guys remember when Richard Schaefer had that Ring Star Sports. He had his own promotional company. He had all the success of Golden Boy. Then he started his own thing, and it was a flop. Yep. He signed like Carlos Balderas. He signed a lot of top young prospects, and then he fucked their careers up.
Did you tell me that when they had a show that the internet, the streaming was bad recently?
Yeah, Probellum. Listen, Probellum has a lot of work to do from a production standpoint to the matchups. He's not a Probellum. He's a boxer.
Oh, a boxer. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, I got confused. Yeah, but
Dan Shalom.
Yeah, but I mean, you said how many shows did Probellum have about this year? But it's a new year, but last year. You could have much.
Maybe like a handful at time, maybe
And
2
Liam
or
Smith
3 at
just
most.
signed.
Liam Williams.
I'm sorry, Liam Williams just signed with him too.
And it just gets worse. And it just gets worse.
Yeah, I mean, we don't put. I don't. What's going on? All the fights just signing for nothing. We're not going to use them.
Efrio says I would like to see Benavidez versus Andre. We all would too. We all would as well.
I just want to see somebody.
Someone.
Yeah.
Johnny says thanks to the shout out, fellas. I appreciate it. God bless you. Well, absolutely. And he said go Chocolatito. That's right. Shout out to the real TVE, Romo Gonzalez. I'll be there.
Hey Johnny,
March 5th.
You won't believe this. Brandon said if this new lightweight what's his name?
Bam Rodriguez.
Bam Rodriguez will clear the lightweights, he will even beat Chocolatito. Will you believe that? Me hearing this with my son, that's a realist right there, boy.
Yeah,
that's a realist.
I'm a little worried about
Yeah, he said he got Bam Rodriguez beating Chocolatito. What do you think about that, Johnny? Yeah, you got I'm saying like we'll see what's gonna happen with us. The heavyweight's gonna be good fights coming when they come up. I don't want it for sure. Fury's gonna beat the hell out of a White. He's gonna dominate him so bad. I don't know.
Let me see. Crawford should sign a PBC. PBC loves those in-house fights, but they might change their tune because they might say like, oh well, we invested all this money in Spence. We can't let Crawford beat him up. So we're gonna put him on the shelf and make Terence Crawford fight Abdul Kakarov.
If you really think about that, that's what Mayweather was said like last year. He said that he wants to keep his fighters all in-house.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, how much money can you make fighting in-house fighters unless they're real
enough
fighters? But I don't think that if you don't give chances with big money fights outside your stable, then is it really worth it?
Nah, not at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I don't agree with Mayweather on that one.
Yeah, but it is what it is, man. Also, they're saying that April 23rd is looking like it's going to be the date for Fury versus White. So if anybody was wondering when is Fury versus White actually happening, the April 23rd is the date they're targeting. They're talking about Wembley Stadium, doing a big fight. It'll be Tyson Fury's first fight in the UK in a number of years now. So they want to make sure they do it big.
Yeah. You say the card for the Gorilla. What's the name? The Gorilla. Ryder and Jacob. The other card's not good.
Did I say that?
I'm asking you.
Oh, I haven't looked at it that deeply.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I just know Emma Williams is on the card.
Yeah, welcome back.
Johnny says Bam caught Cuadras when he was slipping. The kid's a good fighter, but beating Chocolatito or Rungvisai, I don't know about that. Well, no, I was talking about that today because Eddie Hearn made a comment today yesterday in one of the interviews saying that he thinks Bam will be the favorite against like all the top guys at 115, which I don't agree with. But I was telling my dad, I was telling my dad the guys that I think he could beat and the guys that I think he would lose to. And I think the guy that he would actually lose to wouldn't be Chocolatito, it wouldn't be Estrada. I think the guy that would actually be the hardest fight for Bam would be Rungvisai. I think Rungvisai will, because of the physical strength, the knockout power, just his ability to hold his ground and push people back. I think that at this point for Bam, because he's not really a 15-pounder yet, and he hasn't really had time to adjust to the weight, I think that's the hardest fight for him. Chocolatito, as much as I love him, and I think he's a great fighter, I think he's the solid there. You know how highly I think of him.
That's
Johnny.
crazy when he told me that.
I just think Chocolatito's he's at that stage of his career where literally it could be this fight against Martinez, it could be the next one. He can get old overnight.
Yeah.
And when you factor that in with him fighting maybe like
when the young cat's coming in now.
Yeah. See, now Hyro talking too much shit now. He's saying, one day, BT, I'm going to get slimming up to steal Sinisa and take her in the Mama Loa and play that bump and grind. It's Hyro. I'm gonna knock you upside your fucking head, bro. Don't come around here flapping your gums, champ.
Boy, I want to see Andrew Leo come back and do. Hey, Fodo's supposed to fight. I forgot who he said Fodo was going to
Danny
fight.
Roman.
Yeah, then after that he wants to fight. I forgot who else he wants to fight after that. And then we were talking about there's another fight you were talking about earlier. Like one of the other cards. Was it Cash or somebody?
Which fight?
I forgot which undercard you were talking about. You were telling me something about.
Oh, I mean, I like the Xander Zayas fight on the 19th with Quincy Lavalas. That's the fight I like.
You think it's gonna be tested?
Huh?
You think it'll be tested? I think it's gonna be a good fight, but I got the man winning.
We'll see.
So I was win that fight.
Hyro likes working you up, BT. Yeah, he does. He does like working me up.
Man, he gets a laugh every time.
But he knows, champ. He knows.
He gets a laugh.
He knows. Talking about. Listen, man. He knows when it comes to that Sinisa, we're not playing games, champ. So if he's saying that, he best be ready to scrap. I'll punch you.
Yeah, he ain't playing.
I'll punch you square in the jaw, Hyro, on GP.
He ain't playing.
But I'll do it out of love. I wouldn't do it. I would do it out of love. Have Sanisa BT. I've got Helen Yee. Well, no, Helen Yee is with what's her name? Helen Yee is with the that dude, the Schmo.
Yeah,
you know, I met him recently. The Schmo.
He's pretty cool.
I met him like I met him when he wasn't in character.
Oh no,
he's super nice. Nice guy. I love the guy.
What about himself though? The way he got it.
He was with Helen Yee because they go out. So like I actually met him at the MGM Grand.
Oh wow.
When I was there. Yeah, shout out to him.
Oh yeah.
Listen, guys. On that note, look, I'm not trying to make this no big live today. I went live kind of late today. I'll go live again tomorrow. Yeah. But for the time being, I'm gonna end the live soon. And before I end the live, I wanted to tell you guys again, programming reminders. We'll be live again tomorrow, like around 8-9, and then you know, Saturday will be the live fight reaction with John Ryder versus Daniel Jacobs. Yeah. And then after that, you know, we'll see what happens. But in between that time, there's gonna be hella videos. There's gonna be no shortage of videos coming out. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. I'm gonna work on getting a couple interviews because I want to continue to get more interviews, and a couple interviews already dropped. You know, I had an interview with Chris Colbert, Chris Colbert, who's fighting soon. That dropped. Luis Melendez, who was supposed to fight on the Consensual Martinez. Consensual Martinez undercard. Michelle Rivera, that dropped. We got all kinds of stuff coming out. So just stay tuned. Absolutely.
We should open it up for people to discuss.
No, that's what we're gonna do next.
Live. I think tomorrow we should have like an open mic thing. We can talk live to you guys. You can talk live to us.
Hold on, before I end the live, one SS says, "Yo, Johnny, I like that song for the Demetrius Andrade ass niggas, the Gucci Mane song. I saw that. That was funny. You know, I like Andrade. That was funny. Yeah, that's it, man. But listen. On that note, you guys take care. God bless. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time.